worldwide. We are live worldwide. We're streaming video to all four corners of the earth. Check the live stream out, thedrgliddenshow.tv, thedrgliddenshow.tv. And if you're watching this on YouTube, join the live chat. Go to thedrgliddenshow.tv, and you'll be able to enter into the chat room, which currently is populated with 32 people from all around the world. And this is how Youngevity Nation is changing the conversation about the way that medicine is practiced worldwide. And we are changing the conversation worldwide because everybody is sick and everybody is suffering and everybody is up against some type of a chronic health issue. I'm in my mid-50s. I didn't know anybody when I was a kid that had autism. I didn't know anybody when I was a kid that had Alzheimer's disease. And, you know, the ambulance went by my house maybe, 3 times a year. Now you see the ambulance go by your house 3 times a day. And did you know that the most money American citizens spend on health care, which actually is disease management, the most money that American citizens spend on medicine is in the last 2 years of their life, to ward off the inevitable, right? Because look, from the MD's ridiculous, old-fashioned, outdated, juvenile, Newtonian physics-based, silly point of view, the human body is simply a machine made of parts. Consciousness itself is a function of biochemistry. And when you're dead, it's lights out. Everything's over. It's game over. Lights out. Let's just go home. You know, life is nothing after the body dies. Consciousness itself, to the medical doctor, is a function of biochemistry. And medical doctors believe this because they can manipulate consciousness with biochemicals. Therefore, they believe that consciousness is a function of biochemicals. It might interest you to know that the street drug ecstasy, otherwise known as MDMA, was developed by psychiatrists, psychiatric doctors, MDs, attempting to make it easier for couples to gain intimacy with each other. And I don't know if anybody has ever experienced ecstasy, but a word on the street is if you're high on ecstasy, you can fall in love with a lamppost, for goodness sake. So this drug was developed to tweak the biochemistry of your body to make it easier to be intimate with people. You know, some people have, built-in prejudices against that, right? You know, kind of cultural conditioning that, they're not going to go there. And so that's why the MDs developed it. Of course, the most famous LSD dramatically alters consciousness, but the MDs, because they're colorblind art critics who don't know they're colorblind, misinterpret the data all of the time. So they are actually of the opinion that everything that you are, everything that you think, everything that you feel, your being is simply a biochemical folly. Consciousness does not exist separate from the body. Consciousness is a fiction dreamed up by psychologists, dreamed up by religious people, dreamed up by spiritualists and metaphysicians. Consciousness is just a joke. It doesn't exist. The only thing that does exist is the physical body, stuff that can be measured, right? That's Newtonian physics. If you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. So to the MD, to the psychiatrist, since consciousness can't be measured, it doesn't exist. And if it doesn't exist, well, it doesn't exist. And down the rabbit hole we go into the crazy world of MD-directed medical therapeutics, the intention of which are not to heal your body. Imagine that. Imagine if everybody woke up around the world tomorrow and everybody had the understanding, right? The automatic understanding. Number one, that your medical doctor believes that consciousness itself is a function of biochemistry, that when you're dead, it's all over. And number two, that they're not trained in their schooling, in their clinical work to cure disease. They're not trained to cure disease. Medical doctors can't even cure heartburn. Can they? No. They can manage it. with the little purple pill. They can't cure migraine headaches. They can manage them with Fiorinol. They can't cure arthritis. They can manage it with anti-inflammatories and pain meds, and anti-inflammatories and pain meds, and then fake knee number 1, fake knee number 2, fake knee number 3. This is how it goes in the wonderful upside-down, topsy-turvy world of MD-directed, reductionistic, pharmaceutical centrist allopathic medicine. Now, imagine if everybody in the world woke up tomorrow and understood that their MDs were not trained to cure disease, and that their MDs have no real notion to understand the genesis of disease. And to these people, we've given $1 trillion to come up with a cure for cancer. They don't even know how to cure heartburn. You think they're going to be able to cure cancer? Absolutely, positively not. We've taken the wrong dog to the hunt because people don't understand the way that MDs are trained to think. They just don't. People have been culturally conditioned by, General Hospital and Grey's Anatomy and House and pharmaceutical profiteering and propaganda to believe that the MD is the undisputed king of the domain of medicine and everybody else is the back of the bus quack, and Dr. Oz has the magic decoder ring to all things medical, right? This is what people have been culturally conditioned to believe. People haven't thought it through. And they need to think it through. People need to know beforehand what their MD is good at, right? Because look, let's be honest. When you're sick, you're scared. You're up against it. You certainly don't want to die. You want to be responsible. You want to be prudent. You want to take, active measures on your own behalf. But bringing your body to an MD, if you're suffering with a chronic disease, is the wrong thing to do. The right thing to do is to bring a body suffering from an acute trauma to an MD. This is what they excel at. They're good at surgery when surgery is necessary. They're good at trauma care when they're not addicted to street drugs, prescription medication, or alcohol, as Harvard University says over 50% of emergency room medical doctors are. It should be a law that every time an MD goes into the emergency, right? They go to work in the emergency room. Every time their shift starts, they have to pee in a cup and be drug tested because over 50% of them are addicted to street drugs, prescription drugs, or alcohol. Addicted. And these are the people that you're giving your trust to. It costs $1,000 just to walk in the door of the emergency room. If you're knocked unconscious and the ambulance comes and picks you up, or somebody else calls the ambulance for you, they don't pay the bill. You have to pay the bill. The rationale goes that a sane, awake, conscious individual with trauma to the body would choose to go to the emergency room. So that's why emergency technicians, right, people in the ambulance are legally allowed to take people to the hospital who are unconscious. Don't take me to the hospital ever. Do not ever take me to the hospital. Don't do it. Only certain circumstances under which I'm going to allow anybody to take this body into a hospital. If there's blood gushing out of a part of my body, if there's been serious trauma to my body and I'm unconscious, if my blood pressure is so low that they suspect internal bleeding and I'm unconscious, well, I'm okay with that. But for everything else, forget it. But, this is not the way that most people think because most people are enrolled in the myth of the MD. The government's enrolled in the myth of the MD. President Obama just made it illegal that if you don't have medical insurance. So now it's mandatory for people in the United States to buy medical insurance, which gives them access to an ineffective, dangerous type of medicine, the leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medicine. In Canada, in the United Kingdom, you've been bending over it and taking it where for centuries because socialized medicine, they don't even give you a choice. They just take the money right out of your bank account, right out of your check. They just take it right out. And does that socialized medicine give you access to homeopathy? No. Does it give you access to chiropractic? No. Does it give you access to acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, herbalism? No. It gives you access to MD-directed medicine only, exclusively, and this is a problem. Because, when an aspect of the marketplace is monopolized, then trouble follows. And this is why we're in a world of hurt all around the world, because nobody knows that the MDs only know what they've been trained in. People think that the MDs know what's best for them, but the MDs don't. The MDs only know what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is old-fashioned, outdated, archaic, out of sync with the reality of the human experience, and that's why it doesn't work. The medical system in the United States, the medical system in Canada, the medical system in the European Union, the medical system in South America, the medical system in China does not need to be tweaked, regulated, massaged, or managed. It needs to be abandoned because it does not work. Just say no to your MD on every possible occasion. Just say no. No, I'm not going to go there. No. You don't know what you're talking about. No. Stop it. I'm not going to go there with you. Instead, eliminate the 10 bad foods. Give your body the nutritional support that it needs every day, 90 essential nutrients. Try that on for size for 90 days, 3 months. Take the challenge. Take the Healthy Body Start Pack Challenge. Take the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for body weight every day for 90 days. Every day for 90 days, eliminate the 10 bad foods, and then on the 91st day, call me up on the radio program and tell me how you feel. Your body's ability to recover its health is greater than anybody has told you or the pharmaceutical industry wants you to believe. You've been duped, ladies and gentlemen. Get your health back, wake up, pop out of the matrix. Guess what? I guess that makes me the red pill. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, pulling back the curtain on the way that medicine is taught and practiced here in the not-so-free world. Remember, we don't have a free medical marketplace. We don't. People think that we do, and that's one of the reasons why the MDs maintain numero uno position, because people believe that there's a free medical market, and people believe that the MDs are in the number one catbird seat because their stuff must be better than everybody else's, because that's how the free market works, right? The people with the best stuff rise to the top, right? Well, we don't have a free medical market, number one. And number two, the only reason that the MDs are in the first place is because they legislated themselves there, and they passed laws about 100 years ago making it illegal to practice medicine unless you are a doctor. Don't believe me? State of Illinois fined me $5,000 a year ago because I used the word doctor on my website, and that's illegal in the state of Illinois unless you're an MD. It made no difference to the state of Illinois that I matriculated and graduated from a fully accredited medical school in the United States, and that I have a license to practice medicine in the great state of Minnesota. It made no difference to them. You can't do that in Illinois. You can't even call yourself a doctor, which is nonsense. I mean, that's like saying, you secured a PhD in physics from the University of California in San Diego. But in Illinois, you can't refer to yourself as a doctor. But you have a PhD, that's a doctoral degree, but you can't refer to yourself as a doctor. What? We don't have a free medical market, ladies and gentlemen. It's ass backwards all around the world. And it's a gigantic problem. And this is why this radio station exists, or this radio show exists. This is why the international network marketing nutritional supplement company Youngevity exists. We are growing a grassroots coalition of the informed all around the world. People who are frustrated with conventional medicine, people who are up to their eyeballs in drugs, people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired and getting worse and worse instead of better and better, people sick and tired of paying through the nose for ineffective health care, people who know that there has to be something better, something different. There must be. There must be. Well, here it is. My profession, the naturopathic medical profession, is the steward of science-based, clinically verified, holistic medical therapeutics, which exist as alternatives to drugs and surgery. Most people don't even know that naturopathic medicine exists, and this is why everybody is sick and suffering, because nobody knows about the good stuff. Nobody knows about the good stuff. It's kind of like, all that exists in the world is orange juice from concentrate, and there's only a couple stores in the country that have not from concentrate orange juice. Only a couple stores. And the stores that have not from concentrate, never from concentrate orange juice, sell their stuff out all the time. But, the orange juice industry, who makes the stuff from concentrate, has a monopoly on the marketplace, and they don't want to let the other stuff into the marketplace. That's kind of how it is. I mean, once you taste not from concentrate orange juice, you're never going back to the other stuff. You just never are, because it's a million times better. It is. That's what this medicine is like. That's what naturopathy is like. And to add insult to injury, because the profession is so young, there are less than 200 licensed naturopathic physicians with more than 20 years of clinical experience. Less than 200 licensed naturopathic physicians in the world with more than 20 years of clinical experience, and I'm one of them. So, even if by some genie in the bottle magic, we all woke up tomorrow and naturopathic medicine was licensed and regulated in all 50 states and your insurance paid for it, there wouldn't be enough naturopathic physicians to fit the need. There wouldn't be, because there just aren't that many. There's less than 5,000 licensed naturopathic doctors in the entire world. Less than 5,000. So the information that you need to know is available, but it is not common knowledge. And you can wait 200 years for there to be, 100,000 naturopathic physicians in the world, 70% of whom have more than 20 years of clinical experience. Or you can just go to my website right now, drglidden.com, click on the link to become an insider, sign up for my insider subscription, where you will have immediate access to over 200 hours of archived health webinars that line it up for you in easy breezy lemon squeezy language, easy to understand terminology, how the holistic community interprets arthritis and migraine headaches, and what to do about it. Knowledge is power, folks. Healing is easy. Become informed. Become a consumer of knowledge and get your health back. drglidden.com. Click on the link to become an insider. Sean from Colorado is up next. Stick around. Hey, Colorado's up first, one of my favorite states. And by the way, Colorado's up next, folks. Welcome back. By the way, if you've never been, go to Fort Collins, Colorado sometime. It is awesome. Let's go to Sean and see what's cracking. Hey, Sean, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hey, Dr. Glidden, it's Sean Buchanan from beautiful Cortez, Colorado.
All right, now tell me where Cortez is, because I don't know.
Okay. We are close to the Four Corners. It's down near Durango, if you know where Durango's at. We're in the far southwest part of the state. Beautiful,
so are you
beautiful.
Kind of sort of near Telluride?
Yes, actually, it takes about an hour and 15 minutes to get to Telluride. And that's one of my favorite places.
Isn't there a steam locomotive that goes from Telluride to someplace or along the Rockies?
That's the Silverton, the Durango Silverton train.
Oh, yeah.
It goes from Durango all the way to Silverton. It's a long all day deal if you're going to do it, but it's absolutely incredible. You got to do it if you ever make it out that way.
Yeah, especially in September, October when the aspens go. I mean, I was in Aspen, Colorado, at that time of the year about 7 years ago, and I thought I was in heaven. It was the most beautiful place I've been on planet Earth so far.
Yeah, people, if you haven't been out to Colorado in the Rockies and the mountains during the fall, you don't know what you're missing.
You know what I learned just anecdotally here before we get into your question.
Sure.
Aspen trees, right? When you look at a grove of aspen trees on the mountainside, it's one living organism, and an aspen grove is the largest living organism on planet Earth because aspen trees reproduce through a network of roots underground. So all of the aspen trees that you see in one grove came from one tree. And it's one tree. I mean, it's one tree that, reproduced itself underground. They're all connected through a giant network of roots. It's the largest living organism on planet Earth, an aspen grove.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, because growing up, my father, he'd plant aspen trees around the house, and he's like, why is there another one coming up? There's another one. You have to pull them with the lawnmower every weekend. Damn, he goes, there's another damn tree there, every weekend.
Yeah, they're beautiful, though. I mean, the white trunks and the yellow leaves and then the green mountain and the blue sky, and it's like, oh, my God.
It really is incredible. Nature is awesome.
Nature is awesome. Yeah, I miss that living here in the Midwest. I really do miss that. I need to get out into Mother Nature a little bit more frequently. I think it's good for the soul. It's good for the body. It's just good all around, man. So I'm jealous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm jealous of the Cortez, man. So, hey, thanks for the call. What's up?
Hey, I have got a team member, one of my team people. She's really having a heck of a time with her health. She's been on, she was with another team, and then she came over later on, and she's with me now, and she's been on the protocol since, I would say, the correct protocol since about May or June, all right? So it hasn't been a real long time, but she's got a thyroid issue going on and a diabetic retinopathy, and she has seen some improvements. I mean, her blood sugars have been coming down, but I think the real problem, I've got her on the line with me by the name. Her name is Patricia. She's on the line. I'm going to turn the phone over to her here in just a second. But I just wanted to give you a rundown. She was in a really bad accident, and after this accident, everything went south after that. And I've heard you talk before on the show about people getting, you say sometimes when they don't have a positive response in certain areas with medical nutrition, there can be a mechanical issue. And you talk about like military neck, and I believe that may be what's going on with her. But I'm going to turn the phone over to her. Let's turn the call over to Patricia. She's on the line with me.
Hey, Patricia, thanks for spending time with me. What's going on?
Well, good afternoon, Dr. Glidden, and thank you so very much for doing what you're doing.
Well, you're welcome. Okay, you can thank me after it works, though. How about that?
Okay. Severe bumper car accident when I was 13, 1973. I was getting out of the bumper car, and someone hit me, and I had nothing to hang on to, and I could feel the spine from the lower back all the way up to the neck. It just went pop, pop, pop. Yikes. And my arms flew open, my head flew back. For about a year, I couldn't raise my hands over my arms over my shoulders. The neck was severely, I couldn't turn very well, right to left. And then, and nothing was done about that. My parents took me to the medical doctor, and he gave me some pills to kill the pain.
Right. And
basically that was it. Age 28, 1988, I was hit, making a left-hand turn. They totaled the car. Yikes. And I severely hit the left side of my head, right over the hypothalamus.
Yeah.
And after that, I changed. In 3 months, people did not know who I was because I like blew up, and I lost all my energy. I had incredible health and energy before that. And
well, did they after that accident? When you were T-boned at the intersection, did you go to the MDs and they give you more drugs?
Absolutely, but I didn't get any drugs. I had no scratches, no bleeding anywhere, and they just sent me home. But I could tell that my body was changing. I became very, very hot. The middle part of my body was always like super hot.
Yeah.
And then I slowly just got worse, and I was eating what I thought was properly, which was the vegetables and protein,
right,
and drinking water. I did everything. I went to Chinese doctors here. I'm in the Bay Area. The Chinese doctors said that the mind isn't sending the messages to the thyroid, and then he said...
Well, all right. So that's all history. So let's fast forward to the current day. And what are the top 4 things that you're suffering from on a regular basis now?
Right now, it's diabetes, and I'm working on that.
Type 2 diabetes?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then September, I started with Dr. Wallach's. I started to lose my eyesight. I went to the retinopathy doctor in September. I kept getting better and better. And he said he was going to do laser. He didn't have to do laser. He was giving me the eye shots for the eye. And in March, I just ran out of there. I said, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I was getting better and better. Then he said, you don't have to come back until August. So that was 3 months. And then I came back, and he said that the eyes are swelling. They're a little bit, they're swelling. And he said that the blood vessels are growing. And he said they will keep growing unless I do laser. And I will go blind in 2 years.
Yeah, well, so he's putting the fear of God into you, right? And that's how these guys
Very
have a
much
job.
So.
Yeah, so have you listened to the audio CD, Seeing is Believing?
No, I haven't.
All right, well, Sean Buchanan can hook you up with that. It's Dr. Wallach was giving a lecture of, I don't know how many years ago, 10, 15 years ago, 500 people at one of his events, right? And he was talking to the crowd about his experience with helping people with diabetic retinopathy, pityriasis, rosacea, macular degeneration, a whole number of things, with nutrition. And there was a medical doctor, an optometrist, in the back of the room. He stood up and said, Wallach, you're a GD liar. He said, this is what I do for a living. There's no way you can reverse this stuff. You're selling snake oil. You're a liar. Dr. Wallach said, no, I'm not. I know what happens. I'm not blowing smoke. This happens all of the time. So in front of 500 people, the medical doctor and Dr. Wallach made a bet. And the medical doctor gave Dr. Wallach access to 10 of his patients who were legally blind. 10 of his patients who were legally blind. They all went on board the medical nutrition program, Dr. Wallach's medical nutrition program, and they all recovered their vision. They all recovered their vision. And this medical doctor was so humbled by the experience that he recorded a testimonial CD for Dr. Wallach called Seeing is Believing, right, pun intended, about his experience with helping people with, manifold eye conditions with medical nutrition. So we have experience that medical nutrition is effective for optimizing the structure and function of the eye. We have direct experience of that. We have direct experience that medical nutrition is effective at optimizing healthy blood sugar levels. We have that experience. We also have the experience of medical nutrition helping a number of different chronic health conditions, often to a remarkable degree. So what's necessary here in order to move this forward, especially because of the history of trauma that you've had in the body, have you ever seen an old-fashioned osteopathic physician to get manipulated, or a chiropractor? Have you ever done that?
Yes, I have.
And how recently did you do that?
About 1 month ago.
And what was the assessment?
Well, I told him exactly what you had said. I was watching one of your webinars, and I told him that I really need my neck checked and fixed because of the whiplash. And he adjusted it. He didn't seem too worried. So
okay, so here's what. Yeah. So look, I love chiropractors. I've been. Yeah. I've probably been to 50 different chiropractic physicians in my life so far, and out of those 50, there are 3 that I would recommend people go back to. Right. So you need to find the right one, and what you need is an X-ray, a lateral X-ray of your neck. A lateral X-ray of your neck to check the curve in your neck. You need a lateral X-ray of the neck to check for the curve in your neck. And you want to find a chiropractor that uses a digital X-ray. Digital X-ray because it's way less radiation than an old-fashioned X-ray. A digital X-ray, lateral X-ray of your neck, because you saw the webinar that I did on thyroid health. If your neck is up and down, military neck like a pencil, and there's no nerve there, there's no curve there, the nerves that come out of the cervical vertebrae, which go to the thyroid, are going to be messed up mechanically, right? Because of the trauma. Yeah. So you need to get that dialed in. You either have a good curve or you have a bad curve. And if you have a bad curve or no curve, there are exercises that a good chiropractor will be able to tell you to do, which will eventually put the curve back in your neck. And you need to get that handled. I mean, that needs to be taken care of. You need to know whether that's at play or not, number one.
Yes.
Number two, to support and promote thyroid function regardless of whether or not, there's an anatomical variation there. And also eye health. It's 1 bottle of Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per day. 1 bottle of Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per day. You need to be using salt that has iodine in it, salt that has iodine in it. I would also go and get a copper bracelet. Get a copper bracelet and wear the copper bracelet. The bracelets that they have for pain management, those copper bracelets, get one of those and wear it. That will put copper into your system in larger amounts than you can get just from the nutritional supplements. And your thyroid needs that copper in order to be healthy. And for the eye health, right, what we do is use the Ultimate Daily Capsules, 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules per 200 pounds of body weight per month. All of this built upon 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 100,000 ORAC antioxidant points a day by hook or by crook. And again, Sean Buchanan can tell you how to do that. I appreciate your call. Room here because it's important. JJ types in, by the way, you can join the live chat, ladies and gentlemen. Join the live chat by going to thedrglittenshow.tv. My daughter had gestational diabetes with her last pregnancy and wants to get pregnant again soon. I recently heard Dr. Wallach suggest that if there has been a history of gestational diabetes with pregnancy, women should be on the healthy blood sugar pack before they're pregnant. That's absolutely correct, and that's just common sense. My question is, does she also need to add a bottle of the selenium? Her weight's 100 pounds. Since she's not a diabetic, does she need to start the sweeties now or once she gets pregnant? Plus, is it also necessary to limit all fruit now and during her pregnancy? Or can she at least consume the low glycemic fruits in her diet? Okay. Great questions. And like the fella said, from the proper perspective, everything makes sense. From the proper perspective, everything makes sense. In 1958, type 2 diabetes was proven to be related to a deficiency in the mineral chromium. Deficiency in the mineral chromium. Proven. It's academic. Can't argue it. It's proven. Sun rises in the east. Can't argue that. That's a fact, Jack. Or, it appears to rise, right? But it's in the east. The sun doesn't rise in the north. Sun doesn't rise in the west. It's in the east, right? Well, type 2 diabetes is related to not enough of the mineral chromium in your body, and later research also uncovered other minerals that are necessary for the body to properly metabolize blood sugars. So, here's how much nutrition the human body needs in order to properly metabolize blood sugar. And here's how much of that you get from your diet, less than half. And now you get pregnant. And now there's another body in your body. And that body needs nutrients too. So the baby steals the lion's share of your nutrients. Now you're running on fumes. And so this is why you develop eclampsia, preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, and from our point of view, 100% of birth defects, including cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy, are caused by nutritional deficiencies in the blood of the pregnant mother while she's pregnant. So, everybody needs the 90 essential nutrients. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. Everybody needs to put clothes on when they go outside to protect themselves from the elements. Everybody needs to bathe the body on a regular basis. Everybody needs to drink purified water. Everybody needs to eat calories for energy, right? These things are just a part of life. Well, there's one more thing that's a part of life. Everybody needs the 90 essential nutrients. There are no exceptions to this rule. And the reason that everybody is sick all around the world is because everybody incorrectly assumes that their bodies can get everything that they need to be healthy just from eating food, and you cannot do it. It is impossible. You can't do it. Can't do it. So unless you're supplementing, it's only a matter of time until your body runs out of something and something breaks, and guess what? Pregnancy accelerates nutritional deficiencies, as does exercise. 400,000 people a year die from heart attacks, which are a direct result of exercise, and it's the same mechanism. Here's how much nutrition the body needs, here's how much is in the tank, and then you get on the treadmill and you burn through your reserves, and then your heart explodes. And then your idiot MD tells you it's genetic. Baloney. And next time a medical professional tells you your condition is genetic, that's code for I have no idea what's causing it, I just don't want to look stupid, but here's what I want you to ask the medical professional. Say, really, doctor, it's genetic? Which gene is it? Which chromosome is it on? Is it autosomal recessive? I mean, what's the deal? Which gene and which chromosome is it on? I want to know. You just told me it's genetic. By my calculations, I'm paying you about, $3,000 a freaking minute. I want some answers. So, to answer the question in the chat room for JJ, the recommendation here is our blanket recommendation for anybody even considering getting pregnant is eliminate the 10 bad foods. You don't have to worry about excessive fruit elimination. Eliminate the 10 bad foods and nutrify your body with 1 healthy start pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month for 6 months before you even think about getting pregnant, and then maintain that discipline while you're pregnant. That should be sufficient to the cause. Then, when she becomes pregnant, she can add the sweeties into the bargain. She can take the sweeties for a couple months before she becomes pregnant, just as a little hedge, a little insurance. That's no problem. So the Healthy Start Pack, 1 Healthy Start Pack and 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods for 6 months, and then get pregnant again. And, for the month before she tries to get pregnant, she can start the sweeties, and then she must maintain that discipline, not only through the pregnancy, but for the rest of her life. And that's a wrap. More to come at 6 after the hour, folks. Stick around. DrGliddenShow.tv. Let's go up to Minnesota now and talk to Jim. Hey, Jim, thanks for the call. You are live.
Yeah, Dr. Glidden, and my pleasure talking with you.
Well, it's very kind of you, Jim. Thanks for the call. What's up?
Well, I have a nephew, 24. In the last 2-3 years, he's had 3 blood clots.
Yeah.
He's now on blood thinners.
Yeah.
And I would just as soon get him off of it, and he would like to get off because the medic, he can't fly when he's on blood thinners.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And this is really ironic to me because Dr. Wallach, the founder of Youngevity, my mentor, arguably the most brilliant naturopathic physician on the planet Earth right now, sued the Food and Drug Administration a number of years ago to secure something called a qualified health claim. Now, if you're attempting to make medical statements to the public in the United States, there's 2 ways that you can do that. You can, raise $100 million, which is about what it costs now, do double-blinded clinical trials of whatever it is that you're trying to do, and then publish your findings in a mainstream medical journal, and then once they're published and the numbers look good, you can say, that, Humalog or Lantus has a direct relationship to managing blood sugar levels or whatever, okay? That's one way to do it. It's a gigantic task. It's a lot of money, and the only people that have that kind of money are the pharmaceutical companies. And that's why all of the research that's done now, 100% of the research is about drugs. It's not about nutrition, because there ain't no money in nutrition. So that's one way you can do it. There's another way that you can do it, however. If you can collect enough published research about whatever it is that you're trying to bring to the public forum, you can bring all of this research and put it on the desk of the Food and Drug Administration and say, look, here's 5,000 published articles that say what I want to say in the public forum. I want you to give me a qualified health claim so I can say it. And Dr. Wallach's done that twice. Once about selenium and once about essential fatty acids. There is so much published research on the relationship between essential fatty acids and the viscosity of blood, the health of your blood, how thick or thin it is, that Dr. Wallach was able to secure a qualified health claim from the Food and Drug Administration, which allows us to say that essential fatty acid supplementation, fish oil, right, omega-3 essential fatty acids, omega-6 essential fatty acids, eliminate the risk of thrombotic stroke. It eliminates the risk of thrombotic stroke. It eliminates it. So if there's all of this research on essential fatty acids that's been published in mainstream medical journals, why don't MDs simply recommend patients who have blood clotting issues to go on essential fatty acid supplementation? Because it's been proven to be effective. Why don't they do it? Because they have their heads up their backside. That's why. Because your medical doctor is basically a shill for the pharmaceutical industry. That's basically what they are. Medical doctors now are pharmacists who've been taught how to diagnose things and who've been given a license to kill. And it is. And MDs have a license to kill. They're the only people in the United States besides cops who can kill people and have impunity. Oh, it's collateral damage. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the woman came in to give birth and instead we cut off both of her legs. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, we goofed. They're the only people that can do that. And, it's a big bad voodoo daddy here, man. But my point is, and I know I seem to be going down a wild goose path here, but bear with me, okay? So, essential fatty acid supplementation is mandatory in order to have healthy thickness of blood. It's mandatory. So, I'm going to guess that your nephew doesn't have a rat poison deficiency, which is what Coumadin is, which is what they probably put him on. He probably doesn't have a Coumadin deficiency. But I can guarantee you that he has an essential fatty acid deficiency because, and now essential fatty acids are called essential because your body needs them, but your body can't make them. So you need to import an essential nutrient into the body every day. That's why they're called essential. Now, there's two ways to get essential fatty acids. You can get them from fish oil, krill oil, sardine oil, salmon oil, whatever. There are also some plants that generate essential fatty acids, borage oil, evening primrose oil, flax oil, okay? So he needs essential fatty acids to go into his body every single solitary day. And if he were taking them, as part of his normal day-to-day routine, which is what everybody needs to do, this probably wouldn't have happened in the first place because your blood just doesn't decide to clot for no flippin' reason. And, it's not the blood clot gene. He doesn't have the bad blood clot gene. I can guarantee you that. He doesn't have a bad gene. He has a bad doctor. So, number one, like the fella said, Jim, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? And oftentimes people in their 20s, they think they're Superman, Supergirl, Superwoman. And they don't give a crap. But it sounds to me like your nephew is a little frustrated with the way that it's going, and he's looking for something, that's going to work, that's outside of drugs. Well, you've come to exactly the right place. So the recommendation for healthy blood viscosity, the recommendation to support and promote healthy viscosity of the blood is 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. And they really need to shorten that name because it's ponderously long. 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. One of those. 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. That's Selenium, S-E-L-E-N like Nancy, I-U-M. 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. And 1 bottle of EFA Plus. 1 bottle of EFA Plus per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's all he needs. Now, if he wants to really optimize this and take it to the next level and be like the healthiest person, in his, in his milieu, in his group of people, then in addition to taking those nutritional supplements, he should also eliminate the 10 bad foods. So should you. So should your wife, if she's still alive, or if you have one. Everybody on planet Earth needs to stop eating these 10 bad foods. You can get that list for free on my website. It's free, man. Free's good, right? drglidden.com. It's right there on the front page. Just scroll down until you see the link for the 10 bad foods. Now, every 3 weeks, once he starts this program, he needs to go back to the medical doctor and have them poke his finger or do the INR blood test to see how thick or thin his blood is. And as the blood gets thinner, which it invariably will do when he takes the EFAs, then the medical doctor is required to reduce the Coumadin prescription, and you just keep reducing and reducing until you don't need it anymore. A colleague of mine, a buddy of mine, who's an ambulance driver here in Illinois, he's a 15-year Army veteran. He's a registered nurse. He's the guy in the back of the ambulance keeping people alive. When he first met me, he had 17 blood clots in his legs, and he was on the most massive dose of Coumadin I've ever seen in my life. It was massive. He was also 120 pounds overweight. He had type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. Well, long story short, he lost 100 pounds. He has no more type 2 diabetes. He has no more high blood pressure, and all the clots are gone. And he's not taking any Coumadin. If your nephew wants to talk to him, that's free also. He has a Facebook page. It's called Wellness Warriors with a Z at the end. Wellness Warriors with a Z. And his acronym on Facebook is the Commander. So go to Wellness Warriors with a Z and have your nephew talk to the Commander about his experience with getting rid of blood clots. He's going to love how he feels. And I appreciate you for taking a stand for the health of someone other than yourself, Jim. This is one of the things that makes Youngevity Nation so awesome. It's because people that are involved with the Youngevity are compassionate and caring, and they're not just looking out for number one. They're looking out for other people in their lives, and that's just a really awesome thing. So have your nephew get started on that stuff, and have him call me in 2-3 weeks for the report. I certainly would look forward to that. I appreciate the phone call. Detroit's up next. Oh, we hardly ever hear from Detroit. Appreciate the call, Kent. You are live.
Yes, hello, Dr. Gibson.
What's going on,
calling,
man?
Never much trying to wait for my wife to get off work, so I had time to wait.
All right.
But anyway, I was calling because my coworker just told me his wife had MS. I want to know, do we carry anything to help her out with MS?
Yeah, well, from our point of view, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, from our point of view, we postulate, we theorize. Dr. Wallach, right, after 26,000 autopsies, 10 million blood chemistries, I guess that's a lot of work, man. You start to see patterns and you start to get a clue. So from Dr. Wallach's point of view, these illnesses, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, and Alzheimer's, are all the same illness, more or less. It's just affecting a different part of the central nervous system, and it's oxidative damage to the nerves. It's the same thing that makes iron turn to rust. It's the same thing that generates liver spots on your skin. Liver spots, by the way, on your skin have nothing to do with your liver. Liver spot on your skin is rancid fat, because there's fat in your skin. It's a good thing. You need it for flexibility. And, well, if there's too much free radical damage in your body, too much oxidative damage in the body, and your body can't handle it because the fire department of the body that normally puts those fires out is weak, then you're going to get rancid fat accumulate in your body, and that's not the only thing you're going to get. You're going to get oxidative damage to other parts of the body, and when your central nervous system becomes oxidatively damaged, that's when you get MS or Parkinson's or Lou Gehrig's disease from our point of view. And this is theoretical, speculative, but if I had to put my money on that this is the actual cause of the illness, that's where I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to say. So what we do is give nutritional support for the central nervous system, and that's a lot easier than you might think it is. You're up against a hard break here, Kent. Stick around. I'll dial this in for you on the other side of the commercials. By the way, if you know a rock star, if you know any of the Eagles, or if you know, Carlos Santana, if you know Mick Jagger, if you know Paul McCartney, if you know Peter Gabriel, if you know any of these guys, they all need to talk to me. Because I'm a big rock and roll fan, and every time I watch the inductions to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I want to cry. Because all these guys look like crap. The only one that doesn't look like crap, quite frankly, is Paul McCartney and Bruce Springsteen. They still look pretty good. And I bet you McCartney's doing nutritional supplements. I bet you that he is. I bet you he's doing stuff with juicing or something. I don't know what it is. I bet you he is. But I don't know. But these people are, they're fading away. It's like watching, I don't know, it's like watching ice melt in the springtime. They're like fading away. And it's only a matter of time until, they're nuts. I mean, Linda Ronstadt was so sick she couldn't even make it to the induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And, most of the time it's simple stuff that is necessary, but they don't know about it. It's like, we're the only ones with the not from concentrate orange juice, and it's freaking awesome, and nobody knows about it. And so people eat the other crap and they die. And because they die, and because everybody eats the crap, they think it's normal. It's not normal. It's not normal to have a chronic symptom. By the way, you want to watch your medical doctor's head explode? Ask him to define health. Call your medical doctor up right now. And say, hey, I'm new to the area. I'm shopping for doctors that are in my, insurance network. And I'd like to ask your doctor one question before I decide whether or not to come on board with them. All right. Yeah, I'm the doctor. What do you want? Doctor, please define health. And there'll be silence on the other end of the phone. You want to watch a medical doctor's head explode? Ask them to define health. And if they tell you it's the absence of disease, tell them that's full of crap, because summer is so much more than the absence of winter. I'll tell you what health is. You want to know the holistic definition of health? You want to know Dr. Glidden's definition of health, which is the correct definition of health? Health is the ability of a living biological organism to experience stress and remain symptom-free in a state of dynamic balance and equipoise. If you are exhibiting a symptom, no matter how small, you are not healthy. The presence of a symptom anywhere in the body is a de facto indication that you are no longer healthy. Because when you are healthy, you're symptom-free, 100% symptom-free. Your brain's good, your eyes are good, your ears are good, your nose is good, your mouth is good, your teeth are good, your liver's good, your gallbladder's good, your kidney's good, your stomach's good, your small intestine's good, your colon's good. It's good. You're good. You got energy. You're not depressed, easy to fall asleep, sleep through the night, no restless legs, no joint pain. You're good. No heartburn, no high blood pressure, no thick blood. You're good. Now, how many people in your life do you know that are good? A 10-year-old kid, unless they're ADD. That's it. Nobody's healthy because everybody is dealing with chronic and persistent symptoms. But because everybody's dealing with chronic and persistent symptoms, and because we're not taught these distinctions in school, everybody thinks it's just normal. Nothing pisses me off more than to sit down with a patient and they say, well, doc, I'm pretty healthy. And then they read off a list of 25 symptoms. Well, guess what? You're not. You're not healthy. You are, in fact, the opposite of healthy. Why on earth would you think that you're healthy? But because you're still alive? Because you're not in a wheelchair? Because you're not in a coma? Because you don't need oxygen yet? My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge, and it's endemic. It's worldwide. That's why longevity is so important, because everybody needs to know what we know, and through longevity, we're going to make that happen. Longevity, of course, is a brilliant idea. It's a network marketing company, an international nutritional supplement company. You can join Longevity for $10, become a member, a one-time $10 fee to become a member of Longevity. And Longevity will pay you to spread our message. of health recovery through science-based medical nutrition. This is an army, folks. This is a war. It's a non-militant revolution. And every soldier needs to be paid. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. If you hang out with us long enough, you will see what I'm talking about by the way of unsolicited testimonials from people who've been suffering needlessly. Let's go back to Detroit. Kent, you still with me?
Yes, I am.
All right, brother. So here's the deal, man. We recommend everybody has to stop the 10 bad foods, right? So that's mandatory, number one. Number two, your brain and central nervous system and hormones are all made from cholesterol. That's what they're made from. So, if you had a broken bone, it would be prudent and wise to ingest things that have minerals in them because your bones are made from minerals. Well, if you have a problem with your central nervous system, it would be prudent to ingest things that your central nervous system is made from, and that's cholesterol. So a diet high in cholesterol. Dr. Wallach recommends, 12 chicken eggs a day for people with multiple sclerosis for nutritional support. Remember, we don't treat disease. We support and promote the body's ability to optimize its structure and function. She doesn't need to worry here because there's no relationship between cholesterol and heart disease. That's a myth of biblical proportions. It does not exist. Cholesterol is not the Antichrist. Cholesterol is your best friend. Number three, she needs nutritional support, right? Everybody does. So a good place to start for her would be one healthy brain and heart pack and one bottle of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. One healthy brain and heart pack and one bottle of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month and 4 boxes of Triple Treat chocolate a month. Yeah, I know that's a tough prescription. But she needs antioxidants, right? Because antioxidants help the fire department of the body to put out the fires of inflammation. And the goal for her is 100,000 antioxidant points a day. And, you can get that any way. Cinnamon has ORAC antioxidants in it. Curry powder has ORAC antioxidants in it. Red wine has ORAC antioxidants in it. The easiest way to secure a high number of antioxidant points is with Youngevity's Triple Treat chocolate. One piece has 20,000 ORAC points, more or less, 20,000 ORAC points, and that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Now, you may also want to, Kent, go to my website, check out the webinar that I did on multiple sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's, and Parkinson's. And if you're an insider, or subscriber to my online health recovery information, as a subscriber, you can send anybody in your world a link to the website and have them watch it. And that's how, we're going to spread our knowledge base here through the wonders of the internet. And my God, the internet is freaking awesome. So that's what I would do. Eliminate the 10 bad foods, eat a diet high in cholesterol, and hook her up with those nutritional supplements. Keep your fingers crossed and see what happens.
All right, I digress. One more thing. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, man, it's all you.
My wife was just, not too long ago, diagnosed with a lump in her breast. But it was minute or benign, whatever, because he had it taken out. But she was concerned that, maybe come back and have cancer, I guess. So she wanted to know if she wanted to take Selene, would it help her out?
Well, yeah, because if you were listening earlier, I said, Dr. Wallach sued the FDA twice to secure a qualified health claim. One was for essential fatty acids and their relationship to, stroke prevention. The other was selenium supplementation. Selenium supplementation at 200 micrograms a day of selenium, which is a teeny-weeny bit. It's 2 capsules of Youngevity selenium a day. Reduces the occurrence of breast cancer. You sitting down? By 82%. 82%. 82%. That means if every girl in the United States took 200 micrograms of selenium every day from birth, in one generation, we'd eliminate breast cancer by 82%. Now, why aren't the Susan G. Komen women marching for that? Because they don't know. Because they're controlled by Big Pharma, and Big Pharma isn't interested in curing cancer because there ain't no money in that. And not only does selenium reduce the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%, it reduces the occurrence of prostate cancer by 64%, I believe, colon cancer by 69%, and lung cancer by 30-something%, even if you're a smoker. So, long story short, if you're not taking selenium, you're just not paying attention. But remember, right, from our point of view, there's a number of things going on here that make tumors form in the body. And remember, the tumor itself is not the disease. The tumor is the result of the disease. So just going in and removing the tumor does nothing to short-circuit the process that made the tumor form in the first place, which is why they always come back. So your wife is absolutely spot on correct in assuming that there must be something that she needs to do to get her body so healthy that it no longer produces tumors, right?
Right.
So eliminate the 10 bad foods. Take one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and secure, a minimum of 50,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day. That's a really good prescription for general overall health. And I mean, an 82% reduction in the chances of getting breast cancer. I'm going to roll those dice every time, right?
Correct. I mean, because he is kind of nervous about that. Yeah. I know it runs in our family sometimes, so I know he's kind of nervous about it.
Yeah, no, it's not genetic. It's not genetic. And by the way, Angelina Jolie made headlines about 6 months ago because they discovered the breast cancer BRCA gene in her body, and so she had her breasts hacked off preventively, right?
Correct, I remember that.
Yeah, well, the breast cancer gene, it's called the BRCA gene, is not a gene. It's a mutation of a gene. It's a mutation of a gene. And you would think that a medical professional would ask themselves the question, well, why did the gene mutate? What caused the mutation? But they did not ask that question. They do not ask that question. They don't give a crap. Because remember, your medical doctor is not concerned with how to cure disease. Your medical doctor is not concerned with what causes disease to happen. It's your medical doctor's job to suppress symptoms with prescription medication, to manage symptoms with prescription medication, and to cut out diseased tissue. That's all that their job is. That's it. So they hack the breasts off. Well, gee, thanks a lot. But what made the gene mutate in the first place, Doc? Oh, I don't know. Well, maybe you should try to figure that out before you go scalpel happy again, you freaking idiot. So anyway, that's the long and the short of that, man. We believe it's not genetic. We believe that the mutation is caused by, in this case, a selenium deficiency. And that's really where the research should go. I mean, give me $1 billion and I'll change the world in 5 years. I will. I'll change the world in 5 years. Completely alter the landscape of how research is done here, because I'll start to do research that produces results. So if you know, an Arabian sheik who's got $1 billion to throw around, have them call me up. We'll set up the Dr. Glidden Research Institute, and we will change the world. No kidding. Because the MDs are looking at it from the wrong vantage point, and they will always fail. They will always fail. And nobody's calling them on their crap. Nobody is, except me and Dr. Wallach. And it's about time things changed. Kent, I appreciate you. I have to move on. I appreciate your patience, man, and I appreciate your trust more than anything else. Let's go to Kansas City and talk to Paul. Hey, Paul, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, I'm good, but God willing, I'll get better. What's happening?
Yeah, well, I'm looking for some of your knowledge to maybe help me out. Back in March, I was diagnosed with CHF and AFib. Anyway, nothing in my family history, not on any medications up until that point.
Yeah.
Now I'm on like 6 different medications, but
yeah, I
was doing some research and run across just thiamine, being low in thiamine.
Yeah, B1. Yeah. Korsakoff syndrome. It is related to congestive heart failure. and that's a vitamin B1 deficiency. One of the most remarkable cures that wasn't my own, one of Dr. Wallach's most remarkable cures, was with a black pastor in Chicago who had congestive heart failure. He completely turned it around in like 3 days. I mean, it was an unbelievable thing to watch. I still can't believe it, but I saw it happen.
Okay, well, I might have shot myself in the foot. I'm going to admit that, I drank quite a bit. I quit cold turkey once I talked to the cardiologist, and everybody kept asking me about alcohol, so I fessed up and I quit.
No, man, look, that's got little or nothing to do with it. Quite frankly, there's a lot of good stuff in alcohol. Of course, you can overdo it with alcohol. You can overdo it with water. You can overdo it with sunlight. But on a relative scale of things, that's one of the least problematic offenders that there is. Fried food is a much bigger offender. Oil in a bottle is much more deadly than alcohol is. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats, whole grains, are much more deadly than alcohol is. No kidding. So you don't need to beat yourself up so much. But what you have been here, Paul, is a victim of misinformation. You've been a victim of misinformation because you've relied on the MDs to give you a clue about how to stay healthy. And, your entire life, you probably had medical insurance and you'd go to the MD, like you're supposed to, and you're under the MD's care and this and that and the other thing. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you've got congestive heart failure. And, well, what the hell? Well, whose fault is that? Is it your fault? It's not your fault. It's the medical doctor's fault. Because you're under their care, they're supposed to be making you healthy. I mean, don't they practice health care? Hell no, they don't practice health care. They don't care. Again, I can't stress this fact enough. If your medical doctor cared about health, they would be doing the research that shows what causes congestive heart failure. And then they would counsel people about what to do so they didn't get it. But they don't do that. They just sit around twiddling their thumbs and they wait till things break. And then they march in with heroic medicine, the intention of which is not to cure the condition. You're a victim of conventional American medicine, and it's got not a damn thing to do with alcohol, man. You're barking up the wrong tree there. No kidding.
Well, in my research, I run across something called pyruvic acid.
Yeah, that's right.
That I guess comes from you have trouble dissolving carbohydrates, which causes pyruvic acid or whatever, which could lead to shortness of breath.
Yeah, that's correct. And that's a very interesting thing to talk about. You're absolutely right. But in a healthy body, a body that's completely nutrified, it's really difficult, if not impossible, for pyruvic acid to build up. So, there's a lot of things going on here, and you're you're snipping away at the edges of it, but we need to hit the bullseye with it. You stick around, buddy. At the other end of this break, I'll dial it in for you. Appreciate your call. Hold on, folks. I'll be right back. Guess what? I'm Dr. Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Hey, everybody. Winding up today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in and turning on. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your trust. Please visit my website, drglidden.com. Click on the Insider button. Become an insider, where you will have immediate access to a 24/7 forum that has most of your questions answered already, and over 200 hours of archived health webinars that line up the holistic method for you. It's way easier than you think it is. You've been duped by 100 years of pharmaceutical propaganda, profiteering nonsense. And enough is enough. This far and no further. The buck stops here. You're fired. If you're my medical doctor, you're fired. I'm going with Dr. Glidden instead. That's a smart move. All right, let's finish it out with Paul in Kansas City here. So, all right, Paul. So, bring me up to speed again with the problem.
Okay, well, I was diagnosed with AFib and CHF. Anyway, they've got me on like 6 different medications where beforehand I was on nothing.
Yeah.
But it seemed to come out of nowhere. And I would like to get off the medications at some point in time, if possible.
Well, right. I mean, who wouldn't? Yeah, I know. I get it. So I can line this up for you. And I've got 3 minutes and 39 seconds here. On my website, drglidden.com, I have put together a 60-minute webinar that I did on atrial fibrillation. It's available to subscribers to my website. It's $20 a month. You can cancel at any time. And if you become a subscriber, not only will you have access to the webinar that I did on AFib, but you'll also have access to 200 hours of health webinars that I've done on every conceivable human condition, more or less. But I will dial this in for you in the next 3 minutes. From our point of view, atrial fibrillation is not a problem with the heart. The heart is fine. The problem is the nerves that come out of your spine that go to your heart. And 99 times out of 100, and I just made that statistic up, the problem is with your back, not with your heart. So you need to visit a chiropractor. You need to tell them that you're having atrial fibrillation and that a naturopathic doctor told you that he wants your thoracic spine checked. Your thoracic spine checked. He wants the part of your spine where the nerves come out that go to your heart checked to see if everything's hunky-dory there. I'm going to bet you 25 cents that it is not. For congestive heart failure, we recommend the 90 essential nutrients in order to support and promote optimal heart structure and function, and extra B vitamins, right? And see, this is the thing that I was alluding to right before the break. The body is a complex system of interrelated parts, right? And they're kind of like your automobile, right? It needs oil, it needs radiator fluid, it needs transmission fluid, it needs power steering fluid, it needs a battery, it needs air in the tires, it needs the right gas in the tank. If any of these things are off, then the car is going to start to run funny, and, things are going to start to break in the car that normally wouldn't. So rather than, worrying about this pyruvate thing, a better strategy is to trust that your body knows how to optimize its structure and function all by itself, and so give the body all of the raw materials that it needs to get the job done, rather than trying to nitpick individual nutrients. And, that's what MDs do who get into holistic medicine. It's called fractionated nutrition, and I'm not a fan of it. So, for you, the recommendation would be, how much do you weigh, by the way?
About 220.
Okay, so here's what I would do. I would do 2 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form. 2 Healthy Body Start Packs 2.0 liquid. 2 of those a month. 4 bottles of selenium a month. 4 bottles of selenium a month. 1 bottle of D-Stress. And that's where you're going to get the extra B vitamins. 1 bottle of D-Stress a month. Plus, eliminate the 10 bad foods and consume salt like it's, good for you. Start salting your food so that it tastes good. Go to the chiropractor and have your back checked out. And if the intervertebral discs in your back are a problem, to the program that I just recommended, add 1 bottle of liquid glucogel plus per 50 pounds of body weight per month. I appreciate you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all out of time. God willing and the creek don't rise. I will see you at some time in the future. Until then, live long and prosper.